Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvell. Coming to you from the Future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
Here we go again. Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition College Sports Today. Terry Norvell here. The head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, is right there, and we're inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. We love hanging out here inside the podcast room. We call it the Future Home Loans Studio. Also want to always thank our title sponsor, the Allen Law Firm, as we kick off another week. Coach, a couple of bowl games coming up that Missouri Army, and, of course, UCF and Florida later in the week. But after we get through this week, we hit some big bowls next week, but some of the smaller schools played over the weekend.
Yeah, it was neat to read in the paper. I think Ferris State won the Division III, I believe, and they scored like 58 or 57 points, and then Montana State scored 57, 58. Everybody's scoring like this. Western Kentucky scored, 60-something the other day?
Unbelievable.
And I heard somebody say there's no defense for a good pass offense. It may be the truth now. There's no defense. Although the Tampa Bay Bucks ran into a defense last night.
How about
New
that?
Orleans Saints shut them out 9-0. Unbelievable.
Coach, would you have believed if I said Tom Brady and the boys, and I know he lost a lot of his weapons, but if I said, Coach, on Friday, I don't think Tom Brady's going to score a point.
Well, let me tell you what. The Bucks are 0-4 against the New Orleans Saints during the season, but they beat them in the playoffs last year. So maybe the Bucks just were due for a bad game. They were picked to win the Super Bowl by everybody. They were at home, 75 degrees. Our kind of weather as Floridians. And New Orleans came in here and just outplayed them completely, especially on defense. Buck defense was pretty good the whole night. Held them to 9. But anyway, it can happen. Good defense can still happen in the NFL. I don't know about college, Joe.
College sports today, we got some college stuff to talk about. Let's keep it here for a second in the NFL and the state of Florida. The crazy game, Tampa Bay. The Jaguars, obviously, first game. What an influx week it was for Jacksonville, and they looked terrible against a terrible team. And don't look now. I got a buddy that's a huge Dolphin fan. Miami Dolphins are on a 6-game heater. They've won 6 in a row, Coach. They're right back in the playoff hunt.
I tell you what, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but Tua scrambled up the middle, and that safety came, and he lowered his shoulder and ran over him for about 4 yards. That inspires the entire team. I'm telling you it did. They were all bragging about Tua being a tough son of a gun and running over the safety. That was pretty neat. And I tell you that the rest of the team really admires quarterbacks that do that kind of stuff.
No doubt. Jacksonville, obviously. The Jaguars, Coach Spurrier, as of yesterday, I think I've got this right, Detroit won again. So Detroit's got a couple wins. As of right now, Jacksonville would have the first pick again, Coach. Again.
You know, everybody's getting on Urban about not doing a very good job, but he won twice as many as the last coach last year. 2-1. Didn't take much.
He doubled up.
He doubled up. But, you know, I don't think the Jags are that bad. I just think they just mentally their red zone scoring has been pretty terrible, I guess, most of the year.
Bad.
They need to just work on some good pass plays or something down near the red zone and get some touchdowns instead of having to kick field goal almost every time down there. But, it looks like they'll have another number 1 draft pick unless they win one the rest of the way.
3 games left, and most people around that organization think it's going to be 3 more losses. The issue they seem to have, I was listening to some of the local radio boys driving in, the issue the Jaguars have is they're getting that number 1 pick again, but there doesn't seem to be, according to the radio boys, just a player in the draft coming up that everybody's going to want, right? That they could then take that pick and shop it. there doesn't seem to be that big-time quarterback or that big-time one guy that some franchise will give you everything to get out of that spot, so they may have to just draft there and hope they hit somebody, a defensive end or a receiver to go with Lawrence. But, yeah, Coach, if you watched the Jaguar game, boy, and I understand it was a crazy week, but they did not play a clean football game. What was it, the first drive of the game, they finally hold Houston to a punt situation, rough the punter. Houston keeps the ball and finishes a 15-play drive to score. Jaguars get the ball, go and get a field goal, as you said. Okay, you need a touchdown. Kick off, and they let the guy run it back. Guy runs it back. Just not a clean game, and that's got to be tough, though. Influx, coaching staff, they know they're probably all going to be gone and all this stuff. But they're getting paid. You get paid to play up there in that league, you know.
Yeah, that's true, and I don't know if Coach Urban is going to get paid. I guess that'll be the lawsuit.
Sounds like they're fighting it out, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, maybe that first pick, Jimmy Johnson at Dallas, he traded Herschel Walker and got a whole bunch of picks. I don't think the Jags have a Herschel to trade.
No.
But maybe trade that number one pick.
They got that number one pick, though, yeah.
Get 2 or 3 solid players or something like that. Might could really help the franchise. But, yeah, I still think, mentally, if they could win 1 or 2 here or there, just like Detroit. They won once, so they beat Arizona yesterday. It'll help your
How'd
psyche.
that happen, by the way?
They just outplayed them, and you can have bad games. I'm telling you, we've had some stinkers in my coaching career, and all you got to do is say, hey, they beat us, outcoached us, outplayed us, and we're going to go back and regroup and try to get better.
As a coach, can you ever tell as a coach pregame warm-ups? I don't know if our team's are we in this thing? Mentally, can you ever tell?
Well, as the game progresses, you can tell coaches are just as much to blame as the players. Did we have them prepared or whatever? Most all of our stinking games were on the road. We never hardly, that I can remember, having we only lost 5 in the swamp, and they were close games. They were all winnable games, and we found a way, or the other team found a way to win. We found a way to lose or whatever. But, our guys were always ready at home, that's for sure. But on the road sometimes, I don't know, we stunk it up, as they say.
Speaking of it, and we'll take a quick break. On the other side, by the way, we're going to lead off. I got to throw out the Western Kentucky quarterbacks numbers, Coach. We'll throw those out on the other side of the break. It is really, he finished up his season. They were incredible numbers if you haven't seen it. But, Coach, you referenced a few games as the Florida coach here that you guys lost in the swamp. It took great teams, too. I mean, it took national champion Florida State to come in. It took some of those great Auburn teams that went undefeated. It took some really good teams to eke out some wins here.
Well, it's easy to remember 5 games. We lost twice to FSU. They won the national championship in 93. 99, they were top 4, something like that. Or did they win it in 99?
99, they won it.
99, yeah. So those are the 2 years they beat us here. And then we lost to Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee in a field goal, 2-point game, stuff like that.
Good teams. Good teams. Coach, do you realize?
All winnable games, too,
So you're 12 years as the head coach at the University of Florida. Home losses, 5.
And they were crazy. They were all winnable. They were, within 3 to 7 points. And, of course,
that's crazy,
Warwick Dunn got that TV late in 93. But, our guys always love playing at home, and good things usually happen, but not always. Not always.
Some kind of record there in the swamp from the head ball coach. Let's take a break. We'll get some more college. I got some neat stuff I want to get to, but I got to go over the Western Kentucky quarterback. Wow, the numbers are mind-boggling. We'll talk some more college football on the other side with this guy, the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier.
I'm Bill Allen of Allen Law Firm. My wife Jenny and I love Christmas because it reminds us to think of the important things like faith, family, and friends. We are so blessed and fortunate to be able to work together doing work we love that helps people in need, something we know we couldn't do without your support.
So from our home to yours, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. We are closing in on the Florida Manatee Festival. The 35th annual is only weeks away now, January 15th and 16th. That's Saturday and Sunday over in beautiful Crystal River. They've done it a long time. You see the logo there, all kind of stuff. Boy, they know how to do this thing. 35 years and counting. A couple food courts, beer and wine, kids zone. They've got a little bit of everything. Kayak tours, manatee tours. It's just a lot of fun. If you're looking to do something, kind of get out of the holidays and kicking off the new year, get over there on the weekend coming up only several weeks away now. The 35th annual Florida Manatee Festival, January 15th and 16th. For all the information, check out their website, GoManateeFest.com. GoManateeFest.com gets you all the info. So there you have it. Welcome back, College Sports Today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, coming to you from the Future Home Loans Studios. Coach, I got to get to these numbers. I know you saw them. This Bailey Zappe, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Zappe.
The quarterback at Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers just won their bowl game. I think they beat App State over the weekend. They're 9-5. So this is a 14-game season, okay? They've completed their season. Here are the numbers for the quarterback from Western Kentucky for the season. Coach, he completed 475 passes. He attempted 686 passes. So he completed 475. His passing yardage, when it was all said and done, just shy of 6,000 yards. 5,967 yards. Nearly 6,000 in 14 games. Coach, he threw 62 touchdowns, only 11 interceptions in all those attempts, okay? And Coach Spurrier, it wasn't like he was dinking and dunking. His two leading receivers, one averaged 16 yards a catch and one 12. So he wasn't just throwing little, to complete. Coach, last thing, and then I want you to comment on these crazy numbers. The two leading receivers for Western Kentucky this year, the leading receiver caught 150 balls. Coach, for 1,902 yards. The second leading receiver caught 87 balls, and that's your second receiver. 87. He had 1,402 yards. Coach, how about those numbers?
Yeah, that's what can happen when you're really good at throwing the ball. I think what's interesting, their offensive coordinator, they picked him up this year, and the quarterback, Bailey Zappe, came with him. And I think one or two receivers came with him from
they did.
Houston Baptist.
Houston Baptist.
So Houston Baptist supplied Western Kentucky with the best offense in maybe the history of college football. Statistically, that's for sure. But, that clock doesn't go anywhere when you're throwing the ball and making first downs, and it stops, and you get up there and away you go.
Reset the chains.
So you get 90 to 100 plays a game, and you're really good at throwing and catching. And this is the statistics you can come out with.
Coach, the two leading receivers, the leading guy caught 150. The number two guy, how about that guy as he grows older and starts talking about his football program or a career? The number two guy says, well, how many catches do you have that year? 87. Wow. Yeah, he says, yeah, that was number two on the team. 87 is number two on the team. And, Coach, again, he wasn't just throwing for 4 yards of completion. He was throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah. What's sort of amazing me also is the DBs on all these teams. They can't tackle. And sometimes they all act like they don't want to tackle.
No.
I mean, they break tackles. They'll run that little zone play, and the guy runs up the middle.
Yeah.
And the safeties take a bad angle, and he runs for a touchdown. So the points are just flying around. And I think, I don't know if we're teaching defense and tackling the way we used to 20, 30 years ago. And I know a lot of defensive players and coaches sort of feel the same way.
Yeah.
That all these defensive players, I don't know what they're thinking, but, I mean, our guys used to hustle their tail off. And if the guy was going across the goal line, we'd still hit him anyway, try to knock the ball out. Yeah. And now they just flag him and let him run on in there. So it's a little bit different game, I think, than 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Coach, it's funny you mentioned that. There were two things I noticed big time out of this just completed college football regular season. Two things that stood out to me. To me, number one, it was the season of the false start. It seemed like every offensive line in America jumped and jumped. Everybody false started like crazy. And the second thing was what you just brought up, Coach. I saw mostly cornerbacks in the flats, one-on-one, and just not make tackle. And I know that guy's trying not to get tackled. I get that, Coach. But those DBs in the flat, some of them never got their hand on them.
Yeah, they don't wrap up. You know, we were always taught to hit him below the waist, put his legs together, and he can't run any further. They sort of block him and dive. I don't know what they do, but tackling is a fundamental part of football that I think a lot of the defensive coaches need to go back and start teaching it a lot better.
I would see a lot of these DBs, as you did all college football season long, they'd get caught in the flat one-on-one, and I know that's a tough tackle. I get that. That's a shifty ball carrier receiver. But where are the old days where at least just break down and wait for help? Break down and hold him.
Break down. Well, the sideline's your other tackler.
Sure.
So don't let him cut back on you. And if you need to just shove him out, knock him out, do that. But they overrun and do all kind of funny things.
Yeah. Interesting. I know this is going to sound crazy, Coach. You're going to get mad at me because we got games to finish this bowl season. But I was peeking ahead to next Labor Day weekend. You know, when college football starts 2022. Some interesting little nuggets. How about on the Labor Day weekend? This is just 3 games. I noticed these are games for next college football season to kick off. Oregon plays Georgia in Atlanta, one of the early season games. Okay, Oregon coached by Dan Lanning. So Dan Lanning's first game, right? He's leaving Georgia after they get done in the playoff. So I got that right, Coach? Dan Lanning's first game will be against Georgia. How unique is that? How about this one, Coach? Season opener next year. Notre Dame is at Ohio State. Good game. Now, how about this odd situation in that game? Oklahoma State plays Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl next week, I think it is, okay? Oklahoma State. Jim Knowles, the Oklahoma State defensive coordinator, will coach against Notre Dame's offense in, 10 days, whenever that is.
And then join them.
Then he goes to Ohio State
as the coordinator.
And he'll coach against Notre Dame back-to-back games.
Oh, okay.
Because they open up with Notre Dame. So Jim Knowles will defend Notre Dame as Oklahoma State's D coordinator in the Fiesta Bowl. And then the season opener he's got. Here's another one, Coach. FSU and LSU open up September 4th, Labor Day weekend. You know, Max Johnson nearly went to FSU, the LSU quarterback. So he nearly went there. He ended up going to A&M. Have you seen all the quarterbacks where they're popping up? It's the portal quarterbacks. You know, Rattler is at South Carolina. Max Johnson's going to Texas A&M. That excites me, by the way. I think Jimbo with a good quarterback is nice. Did you see where Bo Nix went to Oregon? Bo Nix.
I did not know that.
How about that? Bo Nix will follow, I guess, Dan Lanning. Maybe he recruited Nix coming out of high school, you know, Lanning from Georgia, who's now the new coach at Oregon. Bo Nix to Oregon. He announced that over the weekend. And here's a quiet one I'm going to track. You remember the little lefty for UCF, Doug Gabriel? He threw it pretty well. The left-handed quarterback got hurt, so he missed a lot of games for UCF. He's going out to Chip Kelly and UCLA. He can throw it around, that little lefty. That little lefty can really throw it around. Coach, in terms of the portal this season we're in, the 2021 season, I kind of jotted down some names. You know who I think might have been the biggest pickup in all of college football from the portal? Jamison Williams, receiver, Alabama. You know, he was the take the top off guy, the speed guy. I think that really, really helped Bryce Young to have that speed guy. Well, he was something, wasn't he, Williams?
And he came from Ohio State. Ohio State, yeah. Well, they have so many receivers up there. It's unusual that Alabama, he could beat out all the guys there. That shows you who Ohio State has had.
I know.
Hey, Joe Burrow came from Ohio State to LSU.
Absolutely.
He couldn't make. I guess Urban was the coach then.
Yeah.
But that's why that transfer portal really helps a lot of kids.
Sure.
It really does, and especially maybe quarterbacks. But then we don't read about the ones that transfer and never play, which is sad. But that happens also.
Yeah, and that's the rub. People are saying, wait a minute, when you throw your name in the portal, they've taken your scholarship. And you might not have one. You better make sure you've got one secure, right? I think that's what everybody's saying. Make sure you got a scholarship before you get out there and you don't. I think Jamison Williams at Alabama was the biggest portal pickup in the country. You know who was right behind him, I think, just my opinion? The running back from Michigan State.
Oh, yeah. He got a lot of publicity early.
Kenneth Walker.
Came
Forest.
from Wake Forest.
Yeah, and had a huge year. I thought the receiver at Kentucky, Wan'Dale Robinson, he had 94 catches at Kentucky. He came by way of Nebraska, but he's a Kentucky guy. So he came back and helped them out. And that linebacker, Henry To'oTo'o, the linebacker from Tennessee that went to Alabama, he helped out. You know, Coach, what do you make of Alabama if the Crimson Tide, if they win 2 more games, they'll win another national title. Boy, if they do close in on another title, Coach, Alabama's worked for it this year. Very close game against Florida. Auburn had them beat. LSU had the ball in their end of the field 3 times, and Arkansas gave them hell. Boy, A&M got them, but boy, Alabama's had to spit the hook out 3 or 4 other times.
Yeah, they've had 4 games.
Tight games.
They could have lost, won 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
And you could lose that one and still win all the marbles, as we know.
Yeah.
So they've been fortunate this year, but maybe that's they just played well in the clutch.
Yeah.
And deserved to be there. And obviously, they started season number 1, and then they didn't look very good at all for a while, and now they're back number 1 again.
Yeah.
So they got better as the season progressed, and that's the way the champions usually do.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coach, over the weekend, Jackson State, Deion Sanders' school, boy, they got roughed up pretty good. He got all that good publicity earlier in the week when he signed the hot shot guy that was thinking about going to FSU. Boy, they got worked. Jackson State got worked.
South Carolina State outplayed them.
Yeah.
Played very well. Looked like the best team, best coach team, and everything else that game. But Jackson State's had a wonderful year. I think they won their conference. So they'll reload their team and get ready to go next year.
Yeah, and what are we looking at? This Friday, a week from this Friday, are the semifinal games. Yeah, this Friday is the 24th. The 31st are the 2 big semifinal games. And then certainly the 2 winners will play on January 10th. But by the way, Orange Bowl, Cotton Bowl, and then the championship game is in Indianapolis. It's at that Lucas Oil. Yeah, it's at the Lucas Oil stadium. That's where the championship game is. Coach, we probably won't visit. We're going to do some obviously with the holidays the next 2 Fridays. Florida UCF Gators new coaching staff, some players in the portal. I haven't really heard UCF if they've got any guys in the portal or anything. Our buddy Shane Matthews on his show, I listen to his show a lot as well, driving in, and he has made the statement. He thinks it's just it's a tough setup for Florida. All things Shane's been saying, coaching staff and UCF really wants the game and all. A thought as we're sitting here 4 days away, is it a tough spot for the Gators where everything's at and playing an in-state team that if they beat Florida, that's a feather in UCF's cap. It really is. Talk about that game coming up on what is that, Thursday?
Yeah, it appears UCF is more organized. Everybody's coming back, all the coaches and most of their players, I guess.
Yeah. And
Florida is losing, all those coaches that are coaching the game and some players. But maybe Billy Napier has told the guys, hey, we're going to be watching the tape, and you may be a starter coming into next year. We'll see how it goes, but try to impress your coaches. Try to win the game for your school and for yourself.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between 7-6 and 6-7.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The off season is a little nicer if you got a winning record. So that's what's on the line for the Gators. I know Emory is leaving after this game. But maybe they can, regroup and say, hey, let's go win us a damn ball game and go 7-6 and go out a winner. And maybe that'll be enough for them to really play their hearts out.
It's a unique situation also for the interim, I'll call it, coaching staff. They know they haven't been retained, and that's normal. That's pretty much normal. But, it's a bowl game. You're probably not going to crack the whip anyway, but it's an awkward situation for those coaches. I tip my hat for those guys that they're finishing their commitment, and they need to work the phone and work their contacts to go find another job and all. But I tip my hat. That's an awkward situation for that coaching staff, the existing guys. But you got to be professional, right? You got to finish up your commitment, right?
Yeah, it was different 30 years ago, I guess, when I left Duke to come to Florida, and we just won the ACC championship. And, of course, all these guys are talking about coaches leaving their teams and everything. Well, I didn't leave my team until after the bowl game. But I told our guys, I said, I'll be with you through the bowl game. And after that, I can't guarantee, other opportunities may come up for all of us or whatever. But we enjoyed being ACC champ, the only one, in 59 years now. That Duke won an ACC. So we had a good time sort of celebrating that championship. Didn't play very well in the bowl game, lost it. And then after that, but see, recruiting was like February the 10th then. So I actually had a month and a few days. We didn't sign a whole bunch of guys that year, but we signed a few good ones. I think Terry Dean came with us and several receivers. A lot of people didn't know much about. But I inherited a team loaded with linemen. And Shane Matthews just happened to be here hanging around, and he became the SEC Player of the Year his first year. So
second.
First and second.
Two-time guy.
So,
was there talk? Was there any when you were leaving Duke to come to Florida, and then when you were, left Florida to go to the NFL, you didn't leave your team either. You coached in the bowl game. You coached Florida in the Orange Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did leave right after that.
But you stuck around and finished.
It's easier to do that because the NFL's still playing.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times their jobs aren't open.
Nothing you could do. Nothing you could really.
January.
Nothing really you could do. Was there any talk? I'm trying to way back when you left Duke for Florida. Was there any talk? Hey, get on up to Florida, or did you let them know right away? Hey, look, I'm finishing my deal here at Duke.
I'd already told the president, and I'll be there right after the bowl game. And we did all of our interviews before the bowl game, and did all that, and got my tiny little contract, which at the time was pretty good. In fact, when I signed it, I remember people said, "I can't believe they're paying a football coach $400,000 a year." Now the tight end coach at Clemson makes $800,000 a year. I saw that the other day. But times have really changed, and. That was a whole bunch of money back in 1990.
Yeah, and you've told me the story, and there's proof in this beautiful restaurant here. You've told me the story of when Duke brought you on, I think they wanted to bump you up a little more than the previous guy, and they bumped you up by about this much.
$500.
Yes. Can you tell that real quick, or is that was?
The AD Tom Butter said, "Well, Steve Sloan made $74,500. We're going to bump you all the way up to $75,000."
There you go. There you go.
I said, "What's the deal? I got no other offers, so give me whatever's the deal."
And let me tell you, that worked out pretty good. That 3-year run worked out pretty daggum good, didn't it?
Well, not naturally.
Yeah, but it got you going though.
It was. I credit Duke for my coaching career. I got hired there twice when I had no job and no prospect of a job. And that's opportunity in the coaching profession. Man, you just got to sometimes be fortunate that some guy said, "All right, we're hiring you," because I'm telling you, coaches they usually hire who they know.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know hardly anybody at Duke, but Coach Red Wilson hired me.
Yeah.
And then I was there as an assistant, and then came back after the USFL folded as the head coach.
We talk, and I'll let you get out of here after this, Coach. We talk a lot about some of your former coaches and guys that worked under you and you worked with. And before we fired up the show today, you mentioned somehow we were going down games and this game that, and the name Bobby Pruitt popped up.
Yeah.
And talk about Bobby Pruitt.
Yeah, Bobby was our D coordinator in 94 and 95. Won the SEC both years, and went on to get the head job at Marshall.
Yeah.
And they won their conference many times, but they won that national championship with Eric Kresser at quarterback.
Yeah.
And Eric was here going into his 5th year. He came in and said, "Coach, I got a chance to transfer to Marshall."
Yeah, sure.
And he said, "What should I do?" And I said, "Well, if Danny Warfel gets hurt, obviously you're the guy." But I said, "You got to do what you think's best." And he said, "Yeah, I think I need to go play." And he did.
Sure,
and they won the national championship. Of course, he had Randy Moss at wide receiver.
That didn't hurt.
It worked out well. And they won it the week before we played FSU in the Sugar Bowl. So he was able to come down and hang out with his old buddies and watch us. I think he was on the sideline of the game as we beat FSU that night. So he won 2 national championships. How about that?
How about that? And I tell you, that period of Marshall football, they threw a run of quarterbacks at you now. They had a guy named Byron Leftwich.
That's right.
They had a guy named Chad Pennington.
Played.
They had a guy named Eric Kresser throwing it. That's 3 pretty good quarterbacks there in a short period.
Yeah.
At Marshall.
And of course, Leftwich is down there with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, all last week he was up for the Jag job.
Absolutely.
He was up for every job in the NFL.
And
then they got shut out yesterday.
Yes.
So put everything on pause. Wait till they score.
But the word is he's one of the on-deck
coach.
guys. He's the on-deck guy that's going to get him a job here. He'll be a head coach here in 2-3 years.
The Kansas City coach, Bieniemy.
I
I hope he gets a job real soon because I think Andy Reid's one of the best up there. I really do.
Well, I remember
he and Belichick. I think are probably considered the top 2.
Yeah. Bieniemy, he was a good runner. Remember, he was at Colorado. He was a good running back out there at Colorado. And Bill McCartney, I think it was, way back then. And boy, Colorado was good. They battled it out with Nebraska way back in the Big 8 days. Remember that? Colorado got good.
They had 2 national champs. I want to say in 90 or 91. And Georgia Tech was the other one.
Yes, it was.
Colorado and Georgia Tech.
Yes,
Who would ever thunk that?
Hey, I just saw on one of those classic channels that great, you mentioned that Georgia Tech team in that era. Georgia Tech and Virginia went at it one year, and Virginia was ranked number 1, and Tech beat them. It might have been in that national championship season. Didn't Tech and Nebraska split one? I think Tech and Nebraska or Colorado, one of them split one. But, boy, those Nebraska-Colorado games, late 80s, early 90s were good. They were the 2 toast of the town, and that was the old Big 8, I think. I think it was still the Big 8.
Yeah, Nebraska ruled the Big 8 for many, many years.
Yeah, it was something. So.
And Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Oklahoma, Nebraska. They were the 2 best.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, they were the 2 best.
And Oklahoma. Boy, that was must-see TV when they got together, that final regular season game every year. Yeah. Oklahoma, Nebraska. Whoo! Some ball players on the field. Some ball players on that field. All right, Coach, anything else we're missing here on a Monday?
No, just more bowl games.
Yeah.
More bowl games coming, and hopefully the Gators will play well down in Tampa, Gasparilla Bowl.
Yeah.
And a lot of good bowl games on TV. Yeah, all the national guys are saying what good games they are nowadays.
Yeah.
I guess everybody loves a 58 to 52 game, and that's what we're getting.
And ESPN, most people may not know this. ESPN owns almost every bowl, and they're all on TV because ESPN loves to own the bowl. It gives them programming. But ESPN owns there's only 3 or 4 or 5 bowls that ESPN doesn't own. They own them all.
They own it all. And the NFL's playing tonight. They got 2 games tonight and 2 games tomorrow night.
How about that?
The COVID, at least they're not all playing Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So
there you go, football.
If you love watching football.
Next couple nights.
And so many of the division races are close in the NFL. So when there's something on the line, they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
When teams are just playing out the season, nobody cares.
Because, even though they're getting paid in the NFL, this is the period of the season, the last 3 or 4 games, when you can get some stinker games, too, like the 2-11 versus 2-11 in Jacksonville yesterday. Some of these teams just playing out the string. But, Coach, the way it works now, there are only 32 teams in the NFL, and now they have, 14 playoff spots. So everybody's still in the damn thing, just mathematically. That's half your league's going to the playoffs almost.
Well, the NFL's pretty smart, as we know. That's why they're the richest sports league of everything. But with so many teams having a shot to make the playoffs, I mean, there's nothing like a playoff game. That's why I think college ball, we got to go to at least 8, but maybe 12. I think 12 seems to be the ideal that some people think. I sort of thought 8 would be real good, because after 8, there's probably not that many that realistically have a chance to win it.
Yeah, and we're going to get there.
But the NFL, it's different. I remember one year Eli Manning and the Giants were 9-7 and made the playoffs and won the Super Bowl. Last year the Bucs didn't even win their division, but won the Super Bowl. So it's who gets hot at the end of the year in pro sports. I think the Atlanta Braves this year, their regular season was
they scuffled around.
They barely made the playoffs, and they're World Series champs. So that's sort of the nature of sports, except in football, high school football, you got to have a good season and get into the playoffs and go from there. But the other sports, if you get hot at the end of the year, you can win it all.
Boy, and you can see that in college basketball. You get in that tournament, but boy, you start playing good ball March 1st. It'll carry you 3 weeks. You may be cutting down some nets.
Yeah. Generally, the best teams are there at the end of basketball, college basketball.
Yeah. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. We'll let Coach get out of here. We'll come back. I'll wrap some stuff up to let you think about as we are heading into really getting deep into bowl season. That and a whole lot more on the other side. It is College Sports Today.
I'm Bill Allen of Allen Law Firm. My wife Jenny and I love Christmas because it reminds us to think of the important things like faith, family, and friends. We are so blessed and fortunate to be able to work together doing work we love that helps people in need, something we know we couldn't do without your support.
So from our home to yours, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach, the official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the Northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach, the proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development, go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
Always enjoy visiting with the head ball coach. There's always stuff that he knows everybody, knows everything. Just a pleasure. Had a great job, great time working with Coach for a couple of years here now, and we have moved into Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Remember, open for brunch now on the weekends. Open for brunch 11 to 3. So, boy, if you're in the area, Celebration area in Gainesville, get over to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Check out Visors as well. A little more laid back. The upstairs open air hangouts, more of a laid back, fun place, and downstairs sit down dinner and great food, great drinks, including Vita de Louis, one of our tremendous sponsors. And don't forget now, the museum is worth the trip over here. Man, the memorabilia that has been accumulated, that is on display here inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is 200% worth it here. And I just wanted to remind you folks that if we don't talk about it enough, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is wide open, ready to go. Reservations. They've got different sized banquet rooms. You can have meetings, and a lot of graduations have come through here recently, obviously in graduation season. So call them up, contact them anytime, and ask them about reserving one of the great different sized rooms as well, and they can take care of all your audio, video needs, anything you need. They will take care of you, I guarantee you, right here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. I want to thank our title sponsor, the Allen Law Firm. Great folks ready to answer any of your questions. You've got a legal question, situation. You just want to kick something around. You're not sure if there's something that has happened to you, or an accident or an injury yourself, loved one, friend, and don't just walk around and have it gnawing in the back of your mind. Should I talk to some legal representation? The free consultation is just that, a free consultation with the experts at the Allen Law Firm. Pick up your phone and dial pound yes. That's the easiest way. Pound YES gets you through to the Allen Law Firm. Check them out online as well. ALLEN, AllenLaw.com. AllenLaw.com will get you through as well. Home loans, home mortgages, refinancing, no better place to go than the folks you see on the screen right above me. Future Home Loans, well over 2,000 five-star reviews. They know what they're doing. They're expanding every single day, every year, going into their 5th year now, and they are covering the southern states because they really, really know what they're doing. Their goal is to help you with the biggest financial transaction most of us will ever have, is purchasing a home or refinancing a home. Go with the best. Go with the experts at Future Home Loans. You see the rest of our sponsors that make the show happen. We thank all those people, including Safe Harbor Seafood. Our picks are in. Our bowl games start. We only have 2 that we picked, myself, Coach Spurrier, and Shane Matthews. This coming week, we've got Missouri Army was one of our picks, and, of course, UCF and Florida. And then next week, they all kick in. We picked up 21 bowl games, and we'll track them as we go, as we did last year. It was a lot of fun. The Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week and the season are slowly wrapping up. Let me set up our show coming up Friday. We're going to put together, obviously, Friday is Christmas Eve, and then the following Friday, New Year's Eve. So we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to do some stuff, some roundtable type stuff. We'll tape a show on Thursday, and we'll run it on Friday. I think you're really going to enjoy our show this Friday. I'm going to put together a roundtable, a couple different people, including my buddy Brent Beard, who knows college sports and college football as well as anybody, and 1 or 2 more guests. We're going to do a little roundtable Thursday, and the topic is, because we're in bowl season, the topic's going to be, what is the future of college football bowl games? There's a lot of theories and a lot of discussion ongoing. I will agree with one thing. I do not think bowl season and the bowl games and the bowl schedule will stay status quo. It has to change, and what is the change? We're going to discuss that. We're going to have a fun roundtable on our next Friday edition coming up at 11 a.m. You don't want to miss that. We're going to really dive into the future of college bowls, because I think we're at a real kind of line of demarcation with college football in particular. A lot of things are changing, and a lot of things are going to change, and frankly, a lot of things will have to change. And bowl season, bowl games, I think they're one of them. I'll throw out some ideas, some theories. We'll do a nice roundtable discussion, and you don't want to miss that. That comes up Friday on the next edition of College Sports Today. Now, a little teaser to that. I'm going to throw out some theories and some ideas. They're basically built off of the fact that college football should and will, in my opinion, in the near future, expand to a 12-team playoff. I think everything is busted off of that 12-team playoff. I've got some theories. We'll kick it around with Brent Beard, some other people on our roundtable. The future of college football bowl games will be our next topic on College Sports Today. That comes up Friday, 11 a.m. You don't want to miss that. We guarantee you that. Thanks to everybody that made the show happen, including the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, as we're broadcasting inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille inside the Future Home Loan Studio. Of course, thank you to our producer, Evan Miller, making things happen. He makes the magic behind the camera, and then we kind of mess it up in front of the camera, but that's kind of what we do. That'll wrap it up. Let's get back together on Friday. A special bowl games discussion. What is the future of college football bowl games? We'll talk about that and some more coming up on the next edition, 11 a.m. on Friday. College Sports Today. See you then, everybody.